Hi and welcome. My name is Miss Burks. I'm going to be the director assisting you today in your service. We did talk a few days ago on the phone about Mr. Jones, and I just again wanted to give you my deepest condolences for your loss.
Thank you,
So,
Ms. Burks. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So if you please take a seat. And before we get started, did you want like a drink, like a water,
No,
coffee?
I
anything like
think
that?
I'm okay.
Okay,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. So, excuse me a moment. So before we really get started, I am going to hand you our general price list. So this is just the list of all of our general services that we offer, as far as like embalming, if that's something you want to do, our types of services and what those would cost, as well as any sundry items that you would want for a service.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So before we like really get down to the nitty gritty, if you will, tell me a little bit about Mr. Jones. Like, what were some of his favorite activities that he liked to do?
Mr. Jones liked to golf. He liked to be out in the yard, and he really enjoyed cooking.
Very nice. What were some of the things that really brought him joy?
He really enjoyed cooking with his wife, and he really enjoyed preparing meals with his daughter.
Oh, very nice. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
All right, so moving on, I know that we had discussed going down the cremation route for Mr. Jones.
Yes.
So was there any like a final disposition that you had in mind for him, such as like scattering the ashes, putting him in a mausoleum, that kind of thing, even burial?
I was just thinking an urn at this point. No scattering or anything like that, just in an urn.
Okay, just like keeping him at home,
Yes.
that kind of thing?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
perfect. So we do actually have a couple options for cremated remains if having him just not, or having him at home just isn't really working out very well. We do have a couple options. Our funeral home, we actually have a cemetery not too far from here that has its own mausoleum. So he'll be put in his own secure, safe place. He'll just be in there by himself. And we are partnered with a couple different companies as well, such as Parting Stones, if you've ever heard of them.
I had not heard of that.
So Parting Stones is a company based out of New Mexico, which takes cremated remains and they turn the remains into ceramic-like stones.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah. So usually, like the process of how it turns to stone is we send the remains to them again in New Mexico, and in a couple weeks they do send them back in the stones, and they come in many different shapes, sizes, and colors. The average stone count is anywhere between 40 to 50.
Wow.
So, and again, they come in all kinds of different sizes, from pretty large size rock or just small ones. So you can keep them in their box that they come in, which is a very nice pine box that you can, again, just keep. The stones themselves can be held. They can be given out to other friends and family members that were really close with Mr. Jones. So is that something you were interested in doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Let me.
Great suggestion.
Thank you. All right, perfect. So now that we have that, you said you wanted to do a service for Mr. Jones, yes?
Yes, please.
Okay, perfect. And for the service, did you want Mr. Jones to be there, or did you want it to be just kind of a memorial service of just gathering of friends and family without him there?
I think I'd like him to be there.
Okay, perfect. So did you have an urn already picked out, or did you want to peruse our like temporary urns just for the service?
I think I'd like to see your temporary urn.
Okay, perfect. Let me pull that up real fast. The magnets are really strong on this thing. Okay, so there is all of our selection for our temporary urns that we have.
They're really beautiful.
Thank you.
I think I think I'd like to go with the blue with the white butterflies.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let me just write that down. Perfect. Excuse me. You said that you did want them to come back as stones, yes?
Yes, please.
Okay, perfect. And okay, let me just get that down again. I'm sorry. Perfect. So for the memorial service, or I'm so sorry, not memorial service, the actual service. We're gonna go back to the general price list. And if you'll turn it over one more time, I'm sorry, it was on the right side. We do have a couple different special items that you can be added to the service, such as you can have a register book, you can have memorial cards. We do have a special kind of a combo, if you will, where you have, it includes a register book, 100 memorial folders for other guests, and 50 acknowledgement cards. Would that be something you're interested in?
Definitely. I think for sure a register book.
Okay. But not the cards or anything. You just want the register book?
Just the register book,
Okay,
please.
perfect. Okay, perfection. And alrighty. Were there any other questions you had about the service at all?
No, I think I understand how it works.
Okay, perfect. So with me, I do have a couple documents that I do need signed from you. So the first one being the identification form, which we already got from you when we took him from your home, or we received Mr. Jones, I apologize. We also have the an authorizing agent form, which is just stating that you are, since you are the next of kin of Mr. Jones, that you are the authorizing person who has the say in what happens with Mr. Jones. And lastly, we also have the authority to cremate. So essentially that is you giving permission to us as a funeral home to go through the process of cremation and include removing any medical devices that he might have, such as a pacemaker or a hip replacement, that kind of thing, as well as understanding that during the cremation process and turning him into the ashes, that we will have to go through the process of pulverizing and actually turn him into the ashes that everybody knows. So
I understand.
if you'd like to take a second and go through those just to make sure that you have everything. Is that for you? Apologize.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Got everything. Perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So next we will go over the statement of goods and services, which is more or less like an itemized receipt of what you've chosen for disposition and the services. So we are going with parting stones, and please correct me if anything on here is something that you don't want to do. Again, this decision is entirely up to you. And so we're going with the parting stones route, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. And then for the services, you wanted to do a temporary urn, the one with the blue with butterflies, yes?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. And then for the service itself, you just wanted to have a register book. No cards, no memorial things.
Correct.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so with everything added up. Okay, perfect. So again, just go over, make sure that I have nothing on there that you don't want.
No,
And then,
looks good.
okay, perfect. And then that will be the total for everything.
Okay.
So if everything does look correct, just go ahead and sign that for me, please. Perfect, thank you much. Perfect, so with that being said, we're moving on to the methods of payment. So we do have a couple different methods. We do take all forms of cards, we take checks, and we also have payment plans. So was there any way you were planning on paying today?
I have a credit card.
Okay, perfect. So we will go back up front shortly to process that. And then lastly, are there any other questions you may have about the services, like what we do, anything like that?
So I'm wondering when you're available to have the service.
So we do have a couple openings next week and the week after. Was there a specific day that you were looking for?
It needs to be a Monday 2 weeks from now.
Monday, 2 weeks from now. Okay. So we do have a Monday opening. We have one at we have 2 in the afternoon. We also have 5 in the afternoon. We don't have any mornings available, unfortunately, so it's just 2 and 5.
2 o'clock, please.
Okay, 2 o'clock. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. So I got that down. I got all the paperwork. So I believe we have everything in order. Again, is there any questions you may have about anything?
Nope, I think I understand what's going to happen.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
of course. And just to give you a brief what time frame we're looking at. So having the services be next week, we will already have Mr. Jones processed in that time. So we'll be in our care the entire time, and he will be placed in that temporary urn that you chose for the time being. After the services, we'll have him packaged and sent to Parting Stones, and their process time can take anywhere between 2 weeks to a month. So more likely than not, we're looking at 2 to a month. So you have the option with Parting Stones to either have him sent back directly to us, where we can give him to you, or we can have him sent directly to you. So whichever is.
I think I'd like to pick him up from you.
Okay, perfect. So in that case, we have your contact information. So we will give you a call when we receive him. So yeah, I believe that is everything. Now we're gonna go, you are more than welcome to keep the general price list, so that is just something you can have.
Perfect.
And if you don't have any more questions, we can go back up front and process your payment.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms.
Yeah,
Burns.
of course. And again, my deepest condolences for Mr. Jones. It was a pleasure working with you, though.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of
Appreciate it.
course.